once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that guy right there is Roy. And before we get started, we just want to thank you guys. You guys have been fantastic. We are doing so well. We have so many um, subscriptions in all different platforms. Instagram, TikTok is doing really well, and on YouTube. So we appreciate all of you guys. Roy, you have our topic of the day.
Well, we're going to talk about a lot about a person in MLB superstar who we really can say, has he gone to waste? Has he been abused? Has he really been the darling of baseball to go to Mr. Nobody, almost? And we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about Mike Trout. Has he just been put to bed? He now has just a meniscus tear, April 30th. And technically, they're saying they don't know if he's going to come back. But let's talk about some facts, if you don't mind, about Mike Trout. And listen, we could go on and on and on and on and on. I'm going to hit some statistics. I'm going to hit some little things. He's 32 years old. If you think about that, August 7th, 1991, he was born 32 years old. He's going to be 33. Really, he's got a lot of baseball in him left when you think about the age. You're talking about that's around Judge, age. So you look about first round 2009 draft. He was the 25th overall signing. And guess who had him? You're not going to believe this. Guess who let him slip through his finger? Do you know? The New York Yankees. The New York Yankees. That was the 25th overall compensation pick for the Yankees signing Teixeira. So because they signed him, they got a compensation pick. So the Yankees let that slip through that they possibly could have had an opportunity. I'm not saying he probably would have got picked up because the Yankees probably would have went later, but that's how they got him. And he is a Jersey boy. He got 2012 coming on. He got Rookie of the Year in 2012. We know he played for the University of Delaware. Again, when you say that, you go, who? Yes, the University of Delaware. As a youth, guess what he played? What position do you think he played as a youth?
Center fielder, no?
Shortstop. He played shortstop. And guess what number he wore on his back because he was a Yankee fan? Number 2. Deuces, baby. Yes. Jeter. 2010, he was top minor league player. Awarded this at the age of 19. He became the youngest player to hit 20 home runs and have 40 steals in baseball, the youngest player. He also became the youngest player in his second season to have 20 home runs, 30 stolen bases. When you think of Mike Trout, do you think of stolen bases?
No.
No, we don't think of stolen bases. But the guy was a tear on the bases. Fast, little, bulky. He should have been Barry Sanders and a running back. That's how he looks now in his build.
Mm-hmm.
He was the youngest player to be on the 30-30 club. The youngest player. 2014. Am I right? I believe I'm right. Yes, 2014. He signed $144.5 million 6-year contract. He received the quickest extension to sign him for a long-term deal.
Wow.
Long-term deal. Then, where was it? In 19, he signed a $426 million. This is 19. It seems like $426 million contract for 12 years. 12 years. He just torn his meniscus, like we said. He's out right now of baseball. And And in 2020, a little known fact, 2020, one of his cards sold for almost baseball cards sold for almost $4 million.
Man.
He's been on the Angels. He's played center field. He's hit the ball. But if you look at him play, do you say the life has been sucked out of Trout?
You know, he's one of those storylines that you go, for most everybody, we want every good player. You start with your team, end with that team, and become a legend in that town, and all those things that come with playing your whole career in one place. However, with Mike Trout, it feels different. He's so good. He done things and was compared to the Ted Williams of the legendary players. And his team around him just cannot, they don't help him at all. And it's one of those biggest tragedies. He's been in how many playoffs in his career? Once. He's been in the playoffs one time in his career. That is a travesty, man. You know, because you're talking about he was in the league in 2011, right? 2011, 2012. So he's 12 years in, and that man with that talent has been in the playoffs once. And that was the year, I believe, that they got Albert Pujols. Mike Trout ended up winning the MVP, and they went to the playoffs. I want to say it was 2014. So that is it's a travesty. The guys he's played with have let him down. And then just when you think things are a-changing, the unicorn Shohei shows up and just cannot stay healthy enough to help them win. Can you imagine if Shohei would have just been hitting and not pitching? That means two of those injuries that Shohei had wouldn't have happened. Maybe they could have.
It's true, but think about, again, the stud that you had in Trout.
Yeah.
We had Pujols.
Yeah.
We had Ohtani.
Yeah.
And we still couldn't keep it together.
Wasn't Castellano there one time? Once in the they have had the worst fortune of any team I've ever seen when it comes to that, because they have signed some guys and they have systematically gotten hurt or not been the guys that they were before they were signed, which is another travesty. You know, what do you think about a guy with Mike Trout's talent and anybody wanted him to be was the face of baseball? And he just never really seemed to embrace that type of, energy.
That wasn't for him. That's not what he wanted. You know what I mean? He just wants to play baseball. He just wants to win. The guy, is a beast. But the issue, I blame the Angels. I blame the Angels. When you have, and think about it, this is what the Yankees have a similar situation. They got Judge, they got Soto. What are the Yankees trying to do right now? They are panicking. They go, listen, we can't let everything fall down and all of a sudden go, hey, Soto, you want to sign? That's what happened with Ohtani. That's what happened. Now, again, you could say, well, he wanted to play in LA and they gave him this record deal. Of course. Yeah. But sometimes that's what you do. You give these record deals to these guys. Why not? You're going to put people in the seats. You're going to want to watch the game. And you can have the two best hitters in the league. Of course you want to have that. Of course you want to see that. Why not? The Angels have made the number one ticket person become obscure and irrelevant. That's what they have done with him. He's going to go down as the worst signing ever for a 12-year contract. He's all the way in the, 2030, 31 before his contract is up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because you said he signed it in 2019. So
12
we're
years.
5 years in. 5 years in, we got another 7 years. And remember, maybe 2 years ago, he had a back injury that a lot of people thought was it. They thought that was it for Mike Trout. And he's battled his way back, thankfully, and was having a really good year this year until he got hurt. But it's horrible to waste talent like that, especially in baseball. Because you can be as talented as you want to be, but one guy cannot do it all in baseball. This is not basketball. It's not the NBA. You gotta surround these guys with talent.
I agree.
And they've done it in spots, but they've never brought a youth movement. They've always brought older guys, full hosts and, guys who there was a reason that their teams said it's okay that you can go. You know what I mean? That type of deal. And they've never invested. They don't invest in that team. Forget about Mike Trout, right? They don't invest in that team at all. That is a loyal fan base for a team that routinely has 1 to 2 players of any notice on that team. And right now on that team, they've got Mike Trout. And everybody else could be on the trading block,
Pretty much. I'm looking at the team right now and I'm just going, who really is a real deal breaker to get rid of in pitching, catching. There's nobody that really jumps out. Anthony Rendon, that guy is old. He's in 9. Nobody's here that I just go, man, that's the future that I really like. Nobody.
And look at Rendon. Rendon is one of those guys. That guy they brought in, they brought him in. He had a good name. He had a good career path going, and they thought he was going to be the future. And man, that guy has done. When you talk about, in my eyes, a guy who got his money and he popped the clutch and he put that thing in neutral, baby. And it does not look like he's trying at all. It doesn't even look like he's trying to get on the field at all. Man. And you're talking about Mike Trout, who is a 3-time MVP. And so you can say, right, we just had that list of 100 players from 2000, right? One of these days they'll say who was some of the best people in the 2010 to 2020. And the name Mike Trout should be on the number 1 on that list because of all of the accomplishments and all these things, the youngest player to do it in baseball. When you look at the list of youngest players to do it, it's Mike Trout, maybe Aaron Judge, maybe, there's some other guys in there, but a lot of it is Mike Trout. So it's a travesty, and at this point, he's not going anywhere. And where could he go that he would have an opportunity to stay healthy and to compete,
This is the thing. This is the Angels losing an opportunity. They had an opportunity to trade him at one point. He wanted to be a Yankee. They could have said, man, 420. The problem is his contract. That's his problem. That's why nobody wants to trade.
Sure.
But, of course, with every trade, you can make it where Angels eat some of that contract. maybe they give you something in return. You give them something in return. Because realistically, once you lost Shohei, what do you got? You should have I'm a person that always believes this. If I have a commodity,
Yeah,
Yankees have some commodity that right now in their minor league teams that they want, teams want. We're looking at contract. If we're trading players that are decent, we're looking to trade that have maybe time on their contract. So when if we try to sign Soto, we got something to play with. We don't want all these expiring contracts.
right.
They had a chance to say, listen, let's try to give him to somebody. We're going to have to eat crow, but let's start getting some youth and let's start trying to grow. Look at the Tampa Bay. Look at the Cincinnati. Look at even Oakland. The A's. These are teams that are really insignificant teams, and when you look at their rosters, they get rid of people. And,
And
and
look,
they go,
and the
not
smart
bad.
moves that Arizona's done. The smart
Yeah,
moves that Arizona's done. They haven't done anything big, but they have stacked up assets and solid players. So that when you get a guy like Corbin that comes in and starts playing above his weight, you have the ability to maximize the potential of it. You know what I mean? That's what the A's never have done. They get rid of their their core to try to get a big name to help Mike Trout, but that's not how baseball works. You got to have a good team around it. I mean, if you don't believe that, look at what the Tampa Bay, it feels like every 3 years they have reconstruct their roster and are pushing in the playoffs. And our Yankees, it takes us 7, 8 years to reconstruct our roster. It takes the Mets a long time to reconstruct their roster. It takes the big boys longer because of the big contracts and how they choose to put their teams together. And if you're the A's and you keep on talking about, you're not a big market and you need to do things differently, then do it differently, but help your guy. Or they should have given him the out, like you said, man.
give him the out. Again, if you're not going to win, don't hold a stud like that. Again, you signed the big contract. You did it, right? What's 426? What would that be? Let me see.
For 12 years, it's like 32, 33.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I just want to find my calculator. 426 divided by 12 is 35.5. That's Judge money. You know what I mean?
No,
And he's
man,
playing.
Judge is higher than that.
Judge is higher than that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But it's
Judge is
$35 million is for a player of that caliber. Think of him and going, listen, no more outfield. No more outfield. You're not playing center field. You're a DH. We're going to use you like Stanton. A team could use that. Think about a team like the Blue Jays. Think about a team like that. Now, even though the Blue Jays are looking to clean up a little bit, Boston had, that would be like having what was his name? Ortiz again on their team, a player that could come and hit, who showed he could hit, show he still has some speed. Maybe you could play him a little bit to give him get his legs working. But again, I wouldn't. At that kind of caliber of money, I just need you to hit, get on the field. A team like the Mets, would probably have considered him at one point, especially if you're going, listen, we're going to take some pieces from you, some good pieces. I don't know. Can he play first base? Usually the big guys that can't play. I don't know. Maybe not.
He's been a great athlete. There's nothing, if he played shortstop when he was younger, he played outfield, there's nothing that could tell me that I would bet on Mike Trout being able to play first base. right? But even if he can't, let's look at the value he brings just in his hitting,
Yeah.
just in his hitting, right? You putting him in your 4 spot, protecting whoever is your big gun, if you have one, right? The speed he brings after he hits the ball. So bringing home guys, he's going to do that. And the butts that he puts in seats.
That's the key. Isn't that the money? Is that the money shot? Is what are you going to get to put someone in the seats? Think about even, think again, they wouldn't do it. They won't do it. But think about the Rays, the Devil Rays. They just had a top prospect go down in flames that is being arrested, all that. Listen, this kid was solid. But imagine having a Mike Trout in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's trying to get another stadium and all that. How that would just charge at a team, that would be great for them. They won't do it. Maybe Boston will do it. Yankees aren't going to do it with what they got.
No.
They got too much going on. Now, maybe they would trade if they didn't get Soto. Maybe they would trade. But again, Mike Trout is injured now. He's too injured. And they got too many. They don't need another DH. They need another player.
Yeah,
but
that
again,
wouldn't make sense for the Yankees, but I'm very intrigued by the Braves. I mean, by Tampa Bay. That's a good call. And all these small market teams, I don't get it. Like, you need a name.
Yeah, you need a name. Again, put him in Seattle. Put him in Seattle. Play him on instead of center. Put him in right field or something like that. Think about center. Seattle's a nice young team. They had some flare-ups. Maybe with another bat like that, they could do it. Maybe drop them to an Atlanta that's got a good squad. Give them this what I call the home run guy. The guy's going to put bat to ball. I don't know.
What about the A's? You don't got a home. You're trying to get a home, right? And you're trying to show teams that we can draw. We can draw people, right? You're trying to go to Vegas. Put Mike Trout in Vegas. When the man is on, he's must see.
Listen, there's teams out there. Phillies. Think about Phillies.
I don't know if they need another guy, but that would be interesting. That'd be great to see Bryce and Trout together. That would be amazing to see.
You know what I think about with baseball, and I was kind of looking at the Dodgers a little bit. The Mets were trying to do it a little bit, but the Dodgers are trying. How is the NBA winning championships? What are they doing?
Well, they're trying to put the big threes together.
Big threes together. Think about the Yankees. Who's our big three right now? If you say it, who would be our big three?
Soto, Judge, Cole.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking. That's our big three right now. Yeah, and now some other guys could kick off, right? Rodon, there's a lot of other people that could kick off. Right now, we don't know who of the batters, Grissom, Verdugo, Volpe, we don't know who's going to kick it off at any given day, right? But we're trying to put together a three. Think about if another team goes, you know what, I'm going to put together a threesome of solid on-base to ball hitters. Angels, who's their three? They don't got it. If you don't got it, get rid of it. Because all you got to do is say, listen, just like, hey, I got this guy. He's going to be good. 12. He's on contract, 35, which is not extraordinary, but I'll take the trade for him, right? But you got to pay $10 million. I'll pay 25 of the 35, or what, the 20.5, you pay 10.
Right. Well, listen, and I don't know why they're acting like they don't got the money. They're not paying no one else. No one else on that team's getting any money. And they should have done, they should have been buyers last year and the year before when they had Shohei on the team and Mike Trout trying to get. I would have done everything to show Shohei that with you and Mike Trout, Shohei knew Mike Trout was going to be solid. but he knew that they weren't going to try. They weren't trying to win anything. And unfortunately, in baseball, it might be the worst sport for this. Teams that are just simply not trying to win. They're the worst sport for it. Basketball, I see teams trying to win all over the place, and they make moves that are irrational because in basketball, there's so many teams that don't really know what they look like from the outside. So they'll bring a guy in and you go, is that what you thought you needed? That's weird. You know what I mean? Football does the same thing. Football will bring a guy in and go, this is the answer, what we needed. And sometimes you're like, wow, you brought a quarterback in, but no offensive line. And, that was important too, or whatever it is. But baseball, they did be out there just like, no, we're not. We're this is the team we got. I don't care that you don't know their names, and we're not doing any trading on the deadline. And the Angels maybe are the worst culprits in this, maybe other than the A's in the last 15 years.
Again, I don't know what their farm team looks like. I don't know, but think about it. 2 years ago, who was available?
Oh man, the Manny Machado has become available before, was available. Betts was available. Mookie Betts.
Soto was available
Soto.
with 2 years contract. They could have brought him in. Think about that. Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Trout.
Now, Aaron Judge was out there for a minute.
Yeah, well, they were going to let that go, but you're right. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying the names that were out there,
Right.
And then you have guys too. Sometimes you got to take a big swing. Like look at Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson quietly changed teams this offseason. Now, he hasn't been what he was, but for a while, Tim Anderson was a fantastic up-and-coming prospect. Why wouldn't you bring him into your facility and say, I'm hoping to recapture that glory, and if we do, we can have something special with him and Mike Trout?
There's opportunities out there. They could have signed Olsen. They could have tried to sign Friedman. They could have, a lot of options out there they could have signed. Really, what they could have just done is re-sign Ohtani. Right. Do what thinking. What is it gonna take? Re-sign. He's not LA Dodgers, Angels. What the heck? It's still the West Coast. He's not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. And he's played on the team. He's been there a while. Just listen, we want to retire you. The Dodgers gave the best contract ever. It's technically, a Popeye move. Give me a hamburger today, and I'll gladly pay you Tuesday. That's exactly what they did. That's what they should have done. If that's the deal, they could have made the deal, had even bring Soto in, give away the farm, had Soto for 2 years, Ohtani for another 12 years. This guy, Trout for 7. What a team. Rodon is now in there. Get some pitching. Who don't want to see that? Right. Who don't want to see that? I want to see that. You see, that's where they mess up. And if you're going to play the game of, other baseballs, you may not, you're going to make money. Ohtani, Soto, Trout. On the Trout for 2, Soto signed. This guy signed. Yeah, you're not going to maybe sign Soto. Maybe not. But he may like playing with Trout and Ohtani.
And, as far as ownership is concerned, if you're not willing to play this game, and baseball, out of all of the major sports out there, baseball is a big boy game. You got to have your big boy pants on because there is no salary cap, and it's all up to you, right? And these contracts are guaranteed. So if you're not willing to do it, you got to get out of the game. You got to sell the team to somebody who has the funds and the wherewithal. They have the thought process of what they want to do. For years, A-Rod was trying to buy a team, him and his people. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there that would love to buy a team, especially on the West Coast, and make it a Dodgers.
So the question to you is will Trout go down in history as the biggest MLB waste of talent?
The biggest waste of talent, yes, he will go down as that. I'm trying to think in my head who I would compare his career to right now. And
I don't know who you compare it because the guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. In any other team, think about him, a New York Yankee. A New York Yankee, he would be everywhere. The biggest, he would be the Judge. If New York, imagine him, Judge, and him. Come on.
What do you think about? And I'm thinking this way because of a couple different things. Because of the lack of World Series titles, because of the lack of production as far as really making because in baseball you really make your name known in the postseason. And this guy, I don't know if he did that. Is he Ken Griffey Jr.?
You see, Ken Griffey Jr. at one point had A-Rod. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
and Ken Griffey did move around,
Yeah. He played on other teams. I don't know, because again, Trout is such a stud. I don't know, tell you the truth. I think and again, I don't say in the sense of skill set, but I wouldn't doubt if this becomes another Bobby Bonilla, that you don't see him in baseball in 3 years. He's going to get healed up. He's going to come back. He may play one more injury. I think he's done. I think they just go, listen, this is your contract. You don't have to buy him out. You know what I mean? He just goes, you're going to pay me out that much, and he probably has a stinking insurance policy on himself that if he doesn't fulfill his obligation because of injury, that he gets another couple of million. So again, I say to me, not skill set, but he will become the next Bobby Bonilla that you will see drift away because of injury, and they'll be still paying him throughout the 2030 contract.
If I compared Mike Trout to Robinson Cano.
I don't think Robinson Cano, I wouldn't think he had a flurry of being good, and the Yankees didn't want to play him, but I don't consider that. He's not Trout is generational, once in a lifetime guy that comes in that plays like that. I don't compare that to that.
The talent is hard because there's just nobody who is as talented as Mike Trout. I'm really thinking career-wise, because he was with the Yankees. He was all-star game second baseman as long as he was with the Yankees. In my eyes, one of the prettiest swings of all time Robinson Cano had. Won the home run derby, was America's darling, first one to sign with Jay-Z's Rock Nation Sports, got a big contract in the Mets, and boy, those breaks got hit so hard. Wow.
He's still trying to play baseball out there, but Cano is I don't compare him. I think Trout is just in a bad team, bad situation. He took his contract, and they gave him a contract. I don't know why you would give him that exorbitant contract. I think when you had him in his first contract, where you signed him for 6 years, about $144 million, that should have been the time that you try to get him on a good deal. And if he's not going to get on a good deal, just like Soto, you got 2 years left on your contract. I'm gonna get the barn, the house, the cow, everything for you, and a team would have gave it up.
Oh yeah. And you got to remember, he won 3 MVPs, 14, 15, and then 19. Man, you telling me in 14, 15, if they would have sold him in 16, oh man.
Yeah, they would have been able to, and that's where I think teams And again, me, if I got my owner hat, I'm going, this is business. Yeah, I got a stud. Yes, I would like to sign. I'm not giving you this eternity contract. I'll give you this contract, and I want to sign you before I want to see what's up. Look, I understand you're a businessman, but I'm letting you know right now you're going to be traded.
Yeah.
You're going to be traded. You're going on, and you know what? I'm going to fill my farm team. I'm going to get somebody solid. I'm going to play, get my team up, try to bring up, and think about the Yankees right now. Right now, the Yankees, we have a team, a fairly young team of farm team players. Ben Rice has come up, looks good. We got Volpe, our shortstop, really of the future. We got catcher, again, young player, Oswaldo, young player, and we could bring up others, possibly, young players. I think the Yankees are in a good spot if they can, right now they're playing static, get their static going. But again, I think the Angels needed to do that. They lost their shot. Now they're with a team with a great player and a bad team. And for that reason, unfortunately, I don't think he'll play at the end of his contract. I think he'll go away, and we will forget the name of Trout forever.
We will remember his name when they do the 30 for 30 for him, and they'll call it waste. And that'll be what it will be. It'll be just a waste of talent.
Yep. Yeah. But think about it. The wasteland, the Trout story.
Because right now, what is he at? I'm trying to look at his hits list. He's got, 378 hits. He's going to retire with 500 hits, and nobody's going to care,
Nobody's going to care.
And it's just sad because everybody else, when they get these accomplishments, these milestones, they break in for TV. Hey, all right. Remember, A-Rod is trying to get his 500th home run, and then break into TV, and oh, there it is, this number 600, and everybody's like, oh, man. I don't know if he gets all those accolades and that ceremony. And when he retires, he should be like, Miguel Cabrera, who went around on a world tour of him leaving. He should be like Albert Pujols, where everybody tells Albert they love him and hug him, but he's not going to get that. He's going to get the fade away in the middle of the night, and it's all because of the team he plays for and what's gone on with him. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think unfortunately it's going to be a sad story for him. But once he comes back, I think he doesn't play more than another 3 years. That's just my story.
Yeah, I think I might have to agree with you there. All right, guys. Well, listen, tell us what your feelings are about Mike Trout and what his legacy will be. That's really what we're talking about. We know with baseball, it's all about the legacy and the signature moments. And I think that's one of those things that Mike Trout is missing, because he hasn't played in the playoffs. And that's when those legends are really cemented and built. So tell us your thoughts. Tell us if you can think of a comparison in any other sport about who Mike Trout's kind of career arc is. And tell us if we're all the way wrong on this subject and Mike Trout is the best player or the worst player you ever seen. All right, guys. And as always, please like and subscribe. And Roy, tell them to do one thing and one thing only.
Please talk to a stranger about sports today. Keep on listening to Off the Top Sportscast. We appreciate you.